Rockstar Games has never been a stranger to controversy, and their 2006 game Bully is no exception. Right off the bat, it was bombarded with accusations of promoting bullying, with some even going so far as to call it a Columbine simulator. Of course, all these accusations were exaggerated at best and outright false at worst. But enough about that, let's see what the game is actually like. This fine-looking gentleman here is Jimmy Hopkins, and he's being sent to Bullworth Academy while his mother goes on a honeymoon.
We'll deal with you when we get back from our honeymoon. Next year.
Mother of the Year. Of course, when it comes to prestige, Bullworth is anything but. In fact, it's one of the worst schools in the country, and the principal seems all but oblivious to the hellish environment surrounding him. As a matter of fact...
Nonsense! That's just school spirit. Hijinks. Why, in my day, we felt nothing of castrating the new boys.
That's cool.
Don't keep Dr. Crabblesnitch waiting. He's a brilliant man. Brilliant.
Well, if you like him so much, why don't you just marry him? In case you couldn't tell, Rockstar's typical sardonic tone is just as prevalent here as it is in its Big Brother series, despite the game being aimed towards a younger audience.
Over there we got the nerds. Of course, they're complete social outcasts. And those are the preps. They're all money and condescending attitudes.
Yeah, massively inbred and completely brainless.
Now over there are the greasers. They think they're tough.
Or at least try to look tough.
And last but not least, the jocks. These guys rule the school. Definitely avoid them.
Whatever, I'm not afraid of some dumb roid monkeys.
Well, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a party to me. One thing that's different in this game, however, is the class system. Twice a day you get to play a minigame where if you pass, you get a gameplay bonus such as new social interactions and new things to make at the chemistry station. And if you try to play hooky, the prefix will be after your ass. So by class system, I mean less of this and more of this. Speaking of class, all of the students you see are unique in appearance from one another and they all have their own names. You can also take pictures of all of them for the yearbook once you get the camera. Even all the faculty members are different. Pretty neat if you ask me. I will say though that what's considered a good yearbook picture can be kind of weird. How the heck is this supposed to even be remotely acceptable for a yearbook? It's literally only the lower half of its face. And again, all the pictures in the actual yearbook end up looking the same, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Also, this kid always has his fly down. It's kind of disturbing. The walking controls in the game feel fine, but when you're running it feels a little bit sensitive, which is a far cry from the heavy bicycle controls. Seriously, I feel like I'm trying to turn this bike underwater. As for the camera, the right stick control is okay, but the camera moves pretty well on its own when you move around, so you're probably never going to use the right stick at all anyways. The combat is pretty fun, and you've got a lot of weapons at your disposal to make things more interesting, as well as new combos you can unlock, not to mention some pretty brutal humiliation techniques.
Ow! Not so cool now, huh?
Oof, that looked painful. Stability-wise, I can't say I ran into any major problems, at least on the PS3 port, but I did have this happen. Luckily, it only happened once. Like most Rockstar games, there are lots of optional side quests and mini-games you can distract yourself with. There's a carnival open all year round, bike races, lawn mowing, even arcade games. I also really like Jimmy's reaction to winning a bike race. Face of a victor, everyone. Despite the controversy the game got, Jimmy is actually one of the more heroic Rockstar protagonists, even though he does get involved in mischief from time to time during the story. Still, that doesn't stop you from being a complete jerk-ass for no other reason than your own amusement.
Looks like tonight is gonna be...
You alright?
Hi,
Everyone
wanna be
knows
friends?
that already. You just gonna
Yep,
take
there's
that?
a reason why this game was called Canis Canemeded in Europe. With all this talk about what you can do in the game, I should probably talk a bit about the story. Once Jimmy sells himself at Bullworth, he's roped into an alliance with a student named Gary. What does he want? To take over the school and make everyone his bitch. And you're going to help him.
Boy,
That is
you're
until...
insane.
You want to run this school? I want to run this school. Only one of us is gonna make it. And it's gonna be me!
Oh no, he betrayed us. How could I have possibly seen this coming?
Don't you lie. Because you know what happens to liars?
No, I'm not lying.
We kick them in the balls!
And thus we dominate the school one click at a time. Which reminds me, in each chapter you'll be making enemies with one of the clicks, which is shown on the screen after completing a mission. And when that happens, the members of the clique you've currently made enemies with will attack you on sight. It's a little annoying when you just want to go where you need to go, but for the most part it's not a huge issue. As for the bosses, they aren't very difficult either, but they work well enough in the game.
I just love breaking things with my hammer.
Cool. I also can't really say much about the supporting characters. I don't think they're bad characters, but they also don't have much depth beyond their clique-associated stereotypes. The teachers are more or less the same way.
Come on, sir, put that away.
Are you mad? This is manna from the god!
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that, pal. Really, if you've seen any cheesy movie set in a high school, you know what kind of characters I'm talking about. However, given the tone of the game and the fact that you're directly a part of the story, it works pretty well. So there you have it. I'd say Bully Show can take the tone of Grand Theft Auto, make it a great game appropriate for younger audiences that still has plenty of appeal for adults, and still piss off anti-video game crusaders along the way. And what a shame that Rockstar hasn't shown any interest in a sequel. It's not like they forgot about it either. They've released ports for the current gen consoles and still have merchandise available on their store. But alas, no sequel in sight. As for now though, the game is still easily one of my favorite in Rockstar Games' lineup.